All right, well, let's unpack this now. And joining me in studio is Newzroom Afrika's contributing politics editor, Vuyo Mvoko. Mr. Mvoko, good evening to you. Let's begin with these documents. So they've now been handed over.
Yes.
The discussion will move to the content of the documents.
Exactly.
Do you think the DA is going to be satisfied?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Because remember, as you're saying, I mean, the ANC has been dragged, kicking and screaming, trying to appeal. Of course, the Constitutional Court not agreeing with them. And then last week, on Friday, they asked for an extension. And from what they've been saying today is that the reason they were asking for an extension is precisely to make sure that they do comply fully with the request. And today they spent hours and hours going through reams and reams of paper, scanning them to ensure that they do comply fully, because they don't want the DA or South Africans to think that they want to defy a court of law.
Yeah.
They are law-abiding citizens, and they want to make sure that they wanted to make sure that they comply fully.
A very interesting article on News 24 dealing in the same matter suggests that part of the reason the ANC took so long to hand over these documents was because it did not want to violate the POPIA Act. This is the Protection of Personal Information Act. The individuals, some of the individuals whose names could be in those documents, they wanted to make sure that if they don't have the express opinion
Yes.
of those individuals to basically say, it's fine, you can release my details, then they are not going to violate the
In fact,
POPIA
in their statement this morning, the ANC did point that out, and saying that they hope the DA is not going to misuse and abuse this opportunity, because there are people who may not have given consent for their personal details to be released, and that needs to be respected. It's going to be a tricky one, because Dr. Leon Schreider, who is the DA MP who has been fighting this battle on behalf of the official opposition, says they are going to study the records to make sure that the ANC doesn't in fact hide behind POPIA and release half the information, or
some of the information could
exactly.
possibly be blacked out.
Yeah, and if they do suspect or find that there may be information that has been redacted unnecessarily, which means that that would mean that the ANC is not compliant.
Yeah.
In which case they are saying the court will go back to court.
Well, finally, Vuyo, the ANC has said, and to some degree they are correct, because it's not only the practice in South Africa for a governing party to prefer that its cadres are deployed in government, because this for them has to do with ensuring that there is transformation. So basically, cadre deployment is not unique to South Africa. And they're saying, though, that the DA, what is it that they stand to gain from these documents? What is it that they are going to put up to South Africans to say, this is why we said to you this was important?
Well, I guess all that will be revealed in the documents themselves. I mean, WhatsApp conversations, CVs, minutes of meetings, correspondence, and all those things. Who knows what we may just, bump into. But I think when you think about it, it can only be good for democracy to just, even if to give South Africans a sense of how these decisions get taken. And I mean, the ANC is adamant. They've done nothing wrong. These are people who have skills, who have experience, who are competent, so they won't be found wanting. Well, we'll see. Once the documents are made public, which the DA says it can't do at this stage, precisely because it too recognizes that it will have to abide by the Poor Peer Act. So where it's not desirable or okay to release certain information, they too have that obligation, but also make the commitment to do things in terms of the law.
Final one, parting shot. The Zondo Commission had already expressed itself on cadre deployment and how it thought that this was part of the reason why state capture succeeded, and also whether or not this is in fact democratic. And so the DA went to court to say, declare cadre deployment unlawful and unconstitutional. That court decision is pending. If it comes and says the DA is correct, if it rules in favor of the DA, that'll be a major blow to the ANC.
It's going to be an interesting one because it's been running, that particular case has been running parallel to this one. And that's exactly what the DA is in. And you see, what's also, or what will assist the DA is the fact that the Chief Justice has actually made his views clear.
Yeah.
That he thinks it's unconstitutional and it's undesirable. So already the ANC is on the back foot. Hence, I think it's really been, because if you look at the statement they released today, it was a long statement for something that, what they wanted to say essentially is what they were going to comply. By the end of business today, they will have given the DA. But if you look at the statement, it goes on, talks about OECD countries, how this practice is not unique to South Africa. You could see that, when I spoke to the spokesperson earlier trying to confirm whether indeed they had complied, again, she went on and on, talking about why this is not only necessary, but also it is hypocritical of parties of the opposition collectively to pretend that they don't do cadre deployment themselves. They talk about the people they deploy to do admin work, research, and all those things in parliament or in legislatures, in municipalities around the country. Yeah. That each and every political party brings their own people to do work for them. And if they were to get a chance to be the government tomorrow, they would do exactly what the ANC is doing. They don't think that it is wrong. Obviously, they disagree with the Chief Justice when he says this practice is or maybe unconstitutional.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what that court judgment is going to say. Contributing politics editor Vuyo Mvoko here at Newzroom Afrika. Thank you very much.